guys, what's up? If you're a returning subscriber, you most likely know that I graduated in March with my bachelor's degree in psychology from University of Phoenix. Well, you probably know that I got my psychology degree, but maybe not the University of Phoenix part. And, you know, for a long time I didn't really talk about University of Phoenix, but I think now is the time. I've dropped out of college a few times, to say the least, and I've experienced school in a variety of settings. I've done your tech school, I've done a state college, I've done community college, online, brick and mortar, for-profit, like I've done it all. And I would like to kind of go over what University of Phoenix was like in my experience and maybe enlighten you if you're considering going there, because it's not all bad, it's not all good, but we'll get into that. Before I do, can you like this video and subscribe to my channel? Turn on the bell notification and let's get into this video because I got a lot to say. I recently got my diploma in the mail actually, and that's kind of what sparked this. So there will be a vlog about my diploma opening coming soon, so stay tuned. But I was in college for a long time. I started my college journey in fall of 2004 because I graduated spring 2004 from high school. I'm not old, guys, I'm telling you, I'm not old. But I started by going to a tech school, and it was like a branch of Penn State. It's called Penn Tech. And I went for like a year and a half, dropped out. I did community college, dropped out. I just tried it all. But in 2012, I was married once to a Marine, and I was living in California. And I decided I wanted to finish my education. You know, I was in my recovery, I was living life, I was an adult, and he got a nice military discount, so I decided to sign up. In California, they actually had brick and mortar campuses for University of Phoenix, which was awesome. So the classroom style, like how it went down, was you went to class one night a week for 4 hours, and you were essentially lectured to, but you did group projects and you got to, you know, just kind of communicate. And then outside of class, you were required to read about 4 chapters and do about 1 paper, sometimes 2 a week. You also had learning team projects, which were easier because you got to actually see the team members face to face. So I didn't hate it in my early years with University of Phoenix. And you also had to do like participation posts during class, or participation posts, that'll make sense later. You had to do participation in class. So you had to answer questions, you had to be involved and engaged, and I actually really enjoyed it. I had a solid crew of people that I had met and formed bonds with, and we were on the same program, working for the same degree, and I loved it. But my ex-husband got out of the military. I think it was December 2012, if I remember correctly. I hadn't been in school very long. I think I started January 2012, and by December 2012, he decided we were going to go back to Pennsylvania. Cool, that's fine. University of Phoenix has campuses everywhere. So I thought, they don't. They're actually shutting a lot of campuses down. So I had to switch to online classrooms. Now, the online classrooms are not as good as the brick and mortar. So if you can go to a brick and mortar University of Phoenix school, I highly, highly recommend it. Let me tell you a little bit about what the online classes look like for me. Now I know that they have changed their interface recently, so it does look a little bit different and there are like slightly different requirements. I have talked to Jessica Kent about this. She is enrolled currently, and we've discussed a little bit of the changes, but it's a 5-week program, same with brick and mortar. They're 5-week classes, and you have to do the same amount of reading, so 3 to 4 chapters a week, the same amount of projects, 1, possibly 2, but not in your early years at all. So 1 project a week, team assignments, which alternated. So if you had to do, you know, sometimes you would do like an individual and a team on the same week, but they'd be small assignments. Then other weeks you'd do a big team assignment, and then next week it'd be a big individual, and then like week 3 was always like the small team ones, and then it's split. So you also had to do participation posts, like I accidentally mentioned earlier. But this time you had to do 8 posts throughout the week, and they had to be substantial posts. So it's like at the beginning it was just substantial, where it fed the conversation and you asked questions and you responded to what they said and elaborated on it, and that was cool. It got to the point where it was like a word count, and you had to have a question, and you had to have this and and you had to answer so many people's and then post your own, and then it just got to be so hard. And honestly, the discussion questions, like, or participation posts, that was the bane of my existence in University of Phoenix. aside from the team projects online. When I came into the program online, like, the degree had already started. So when I first started on brick and mortar, we all started together. We started on the first class, and you can follow the trajectory and literally be with the same learning team the whole way through. Online doesn't give you that luxury. It can sometimes, but it did not for me. I literally did not have the same team members ever. So you're working with these people on assignments that you can't ever see. In the brick and mortar classes, we would go meet like before class. We would spend an hour before class, or we'd come meet a different day at Panera, because that's where I worked. But it sucks when you can't actually work like in real time with someone on an assignment, because then you're putting together like 5 people's or 3 to 5 people's, you know, different paragraphs for this paper, and then I always ended up being the team lead because nobody wanted to take that on, and it sucked. And I'm a perfectionist, so like I would go through and change more than I needed to, but I ended up with a very high GPA. I ended up failing on a class because, a long story, mostly because of my divorce, so I had that on there. But my GPA when I graduated was a 3.65, which I am pretty dang proud of, if I don't say it. Like, that's awesome. And it kind of leads me to my next point. University of Phoenix is often looked down upon. People think that the quality of the education is lackluster, that it's just like you pay for the degree and you don't do any work, and that is so not true. You can pay lots of money and scrape by with this degree. You could. You're not going to get anything out of it, and it's going to show in your work. It's going to show in your assignments. It's going to show in the rest of your life that you're carrying around a piece of paper that literally means nothing. But for me, I took it very seriously, and just in the few conversations I've had with Jessica Kent about her schoolwork, she takes it incredibly seriously too. Most of my courses, I got A's, like A's the whole way through. I had, I think, 2 B's and then the 1 F, but I gave it my all. I gave it my all because for me the degree wasn't about a career, it wasn't about an advancement, it was about an accomplishment. It was something that I wanted to do for myself because I had put myself through so much. I had the opportunity to go to college as a 18-year-old, you know, and literally focused only on school. I had the best school. I was studying graphic design. I loved it, but I wasn't passionate about it, and I just threw it all away. And then I got another chance to go to community college, and I made Dean's List, and I killed it, and then I got into drugs, and I lost it all again. So I felt like I screwed myself more than a few times. I mean, I did. I had the opportunity to just let school be my focus, and I let that go. And I wasn't going to give up on that dream of having a degree. And psychology is something that I feel very passionately about because it has taught me so much about myself and other people and just the human condition. I feel like it's really made my recovery solid because at the end of the day, like, I know that there's a lot of things I am powerless over, and like cravings are one thing, you know, there's a lot of things that feel out of my control. But knowing that on a biological and psychological level, I can have some control is very comforting for me. I highly recommend anyone get your psychoeducation. Like, you can take courses online for free, you can read books, like, I love it. But University of Phoenix, you get out what you put in, and I put in a lot, and I am very proud of my degree. And I haven't had any employer or possible employer scoff at my degree, and I've talked to numerous people in the field, and like, they are just happy that I have the degree, that I completed it, which kind of takes me to my next point. University of Phoenix has a very low graduation rate. 20% of people graduate, and I was almost part of that 80%. Like I said, started in 2012, and I did it until December 2012. I did online, and then I did that until about 2014 when my divorce hit, and that kind of rocked me. So I took an extended leave of absence, and I just dropped out, and I decided to go back in 2015 until I had Emerson. So I had a class literally up until like the week before I delivered Emerson, and I took another leave of absence, and I just said, F it, I'm going back. June 2018, I was like, this is it. I'm tired of my life. I'm tired of things like, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled. Like, I want this. I want this degree. This means more to me than it means to anybody else. It isn't about a job. It isn't about a career advancement. It's about knowing that I can follow through on something for once, because I like to give up way too easy. So, like I said, I took multiple extended leaves of absence, but I ended up going back June 2018 till March 2019, and your girl finished. I finished hard. Oh, that's a lie. I finished really, really strong until about December 2018, and then I realized that I still needed 3 electives. You guys, that sucked. That was just like BS classes, like media, and I thought it would be cool. It was like pop culture and media, and like it really sucked because I was just so over it at that point. I was so ready to be done. So let's talk a little bit about what it takes to do all of that. The 5-week courses, you know, 5 weeks, so 5 papers, 40 discussion posts, 3 team projects, like, oh God, what is it, 20 chapters? Like, you're reading an entire textbook in 5 weeks. It hurts. What you doing, buddy? As you get older, it hurts more. When I first was at University of Phoenix, I was working at Panera. So I had like a swing shift kind of schedule. I would open some days, I would close some days. I would purposely take off when I was online. My assignments were due Tuesday, so I would purposely take off Monday. They were due Tuesday at like midnight or whatever, Arizona time. Details that really aren't relevant. I would take off the entire day before it was due, and I would just cram, and anything I hadn't finished, I would finish that day. Now, when I went back in June 2018, I'm a mom. I worked full-time the entire time. So I'm a mom now, working full-time, but I have a set schedule. So I work like, my schedule is 9:30 to 5, but I'm usually like a 10 or 11 to 5. But I struggled with that. I struggled with having that set schedule because it didn't give me the flexibility I needed that I had when I was at Panera. So that's just something interesting to note. Online classes are not easier. They're definitely harder. They require a lot more work, a lot more time, a lot more... That was really loud, it scared me. They require a lot more work, a lot more time, and a lot more dedication. And it's possible, it's totally doable. I did it working full time. I was even doing YouTube and being a mom and working full time. Like, it's possible, guys. You just have to know that you're gonna follow through. Because, like I said, you could skate through and pay the money for it, but it's a lot of money. It's a for-profit college. So, I don't know how to break this down. I was trying to open up my student website. Let's see if it loaded because it was taking forever. It's about $10,000 a year. And yeah, okay. So $16,000 for an entire semester, or for an entire year. Yikes, dude, that's expensive. It says tuition and fees is $9,548. Then there's lender or origination fees, $114. I did get some Pell Grant, and then I took out direct, unsubsidized, and subsidized loans. So I have about $50,000 in student loans. Yeah, that hurts. I technically am poor enough that I don't have to pay back on them yet, but I do make payments here and there. It's called an income-driven repayment plan, and essentially it's still accruing interest. It's gonna bite me in the butt one day, so I gotta get on that. But I know that when I get into a public service job working for a nonprofit, I can do this thing where as long as I pay my loans for 10 years, so I make 10 consecutive payments, so 120 payments, they'll write off what's left. And my mom, or someone, bless their heart, was like, aren't you supposed to be able to pay your student loan off in 10 years? Bitch, what? Like, no, student loans, like college tuition is way higher. You used to be able to pay it off in 10 years, but there's no way I could pay that off in 10 years. What is that? Let's do the math. If say it's 50, I think it's 48,000 to be exact. That would be 4,800 a year. I would be paying $400 a month for 10 years. And I mean, I guess a lot of people do that, but like, your girl's poor. Your girl's broke. Like, I don't know. I honestly just fingers crossed that the political system fixes it and realizes like, hey, the whole economy's shit because everybody has a massive amount of student loans, and if we wipe these clean, maybe we can just kind of start rebuilding a new economy. I don't know, or it all crashes and burns and I still don't have to pay it. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. Good plan, Megan. And now all of that might sound really scary, but I do recommend University of Phoenix to people that are hard workers, that are determined, that are good at time management, which is not me. I'm not, but I am good at deadlines. I'm good at procrastinating and then going hard, you know, the last 24 hours to get it done. Like, I have stayed up until midnight so many nights, and the speaking of that, so I said it's Arizona time. They don't do daylight savings, so half of the year I have like this extra hour of work, like an extra hour of time to work, and whenever daylight savings comes, I always forget that, and then there's always like 1 week where I turn in an assignment like an hour too late, but it is what it is. The grading is actually really reasonable, really fair. It's very easy to get A's if you do your best. And like any college course, you have a syllabus, you have like a grading sheet, so you know if you hit these points, like you're gonna do well, you're gonna have this done. I think the hardest part for most people is writing papers in APA format, which is like a breeze for me. So if you have any questions, just let me know. But I also think that University of Phoenix has a lot of resources, a lot of amazing resources. They offer you like the Office suite, like I don't know what it's called. You can use Word, Excel, all of those programs, and then you can use them online. You can download the software onto your computer. You can have that onto 5 computers. You have like ebooks now come in like this format where you can actually have it read to you like an audiobook, so you can listen in your car. That is something I actually requested as an accommodation because I did have disability accommodations for my ADHD, and they didn't offer that at that point, but they got it because of me, so that's really cool. Now, like I said, discussion questions I think have changed because the interface of the classroom has changed, and I think you're only required 3 discussion posts or whatever a week, and they're a little bit more substantial, but that is way more reasonable than 8. That just, oh gosh. Guys, I just read and read and read and read, and then I learned how to tailor what I was reading to what was relevant that week. What was my assignment that week? What is my learning team assignment? What are the discussion questions? And then I researched those things. And I personally went back a lot and read things after the fact. I still have access to my ebooks. I still have access to a lot of the resources in the student website. I still have access to their discounts and their alumni program and stuff like that. So, and their library. Oh my gosh, they have the best online library ever. I love them. I use their resources a lot for my videos, and I'm proud that I went to University of Phoenix. I'm proud that I have a degree from them, and I would, like I said, recommend it to anyone that is serious. I would not recommend it to you if you aren't sure what you want to be studying, because it's expensive and it's time consuming and it's exhausting, and it can leave a really bitter taste in your mouth if you're not doing it with passion. Those last 3 electives killed me. I hated it. I hated it because I was so not passionate about it. It wasn't psychology related and it wasn't fun. So just make sure that you know what you are interested in and that you're serious about this. If you have any questions, by all means hit me up, let me know. Jessica Kent is still enrolled, like I said, so she might be able to answer your questions. Just throwing her out there as a resource for you guys without asking her, no big deal. But that's all I have for today. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you've ever considered going to University of Phoenix, if you have gone there, and if you have graduated. If you are part of the alumni club, because it's pretty scarce. It's a pretty scarce alumni club. But that's all I have for today, guys. Bye.